Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Taya Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. All right, the show, this is what it looks like. We're starting off with the Nigerian National League. It's back today after
3 weeks break.
3 weeks. That's flown by so quickly.
And the good news is Vandrezzer FC will continue in the league. They
like
are resuming in the second stanza of the season. They're not pulling out anymore. The all issues have been resolved. Let's move to the big one in Europe. The Europa League, Manchester United, a big win for the Red Devils, crushing AS Roma 6-2 at Old Trafford. Edison Cavani, Bruno Fernandes were all the one who orchestrated that thumping a win over AS Roma.
Giant step taken by Manchester United towards the final of the UEFA Europa League. Our next second leg is on Thursday. We'll see if AS Roma can overturn that deficit. It's very unlikely, though. Also on the show in the NBA, the stunning results are coming from last night. The Houston Rockets, the worst team in the NBA, stunning the Milwaukee Bucks in their matchup, 136 to 143.
Kevin Porter Jr. dropping 50 points and 11 rebounds. The youngest player to score 50-plus points and assists.
Yeah, plus 11 assists in a game. So take about wherever you are. Kevin Porter Jr. Leading the way for the Houston Rockets in that victory against the Milwaukee Bucks. We're starting off the show, of course, from the NBA. Other games as well, too, that went down last night and this morning. We have all the results for you. And there you go. The Mavericks defeating the Pistons 115 to 105. Tim Hardaway Jr. scoring a career-high 42 points in that victory to overcome the absence of Luka Doncic. So it's good to see the Cavs can actually win a game without Doncic.
Yeah.
The Mavs, yeah. Elsewhere, the Nets. They were in action as well against Indiana, ended 130 to 113 in favor of Brooklyn. Kevin Durant scoring a season-high 42 points in that victory as well. 22 of those points came in the third quarter. Of course, the Nets were playing without Kyrie and James Harden again. The Warriors and the Timberwolves ended 114 to 126 in favor of Minnesota. Cecilia, why are you shaking your head? You're surprised to see the Warriors
they didn't want to play in the play-in tournament. Right now, that's where they're looking towards because they needed.
Who's that?
I'm talking about the Golden State Warriors.
That's where
they don't want to
be.
play in. They don't want to play in the play-in tournament. Okay. But from all indication, that's where they're going to be in because they have 10 and they have 9 games left. So how do they do that to avoid playing in the play-in tournament?
That's the. I'm afraid that's the best they can get.
One, yeah.
That's the best they can get for the Golden State Warriors.
31-32. I mean.
All right. Let's move on to the OKC Thunder and the Pelicans. New Orleans are prevailing in that one, 109 to 95. Zion Williamson scoring 27 points in that victory. There's also the matchup between the Nuggets and the Raptors, ended 121 to 111 in favor of Denver. Nikola Jokic, 19 points and 11 rebounds in just 3 quarters in that victory. So that's it for the NBA in terms of the results. But let's talk about our star match between the Rockets and the Bucks. Stunning results.
Yeah.
And the manner and the scoreline as well is quite interesting because, I mean, both sides are high-scoring game, 143 to 136. And usually you think Milwaukee will win that one. But they lost Giannis very early
just
in the
game.
Just
a minute into the game.
Sprained ankle.
That shouldn't be enough because that shouldn't allow them to lose like that. He just had 46 seconds on court. Then he left. I mean, Kelly Owens, because Kelly Owens actually stepped on his foot when he was trying to drive in the basket, just 46 seconds into the game. But when you have Chris Middleton, he had 33 points. Brian Foster has a career of 30 points off the bench. Drew Holiday had 29 for the Milwaukee, but it just wasn't enough because when you have a young player, Kevin Porter, I mean, it's just 20, pouring in a career high of 50 points, 11 assists. I mean, he's the 4th youngest player in the NBA history to score 50 in a game. Brandon Jennings, Devin Booker, LeBron James did that twice, where the other players who had done that. I think that's the reason, because it's the previous record he had 30. That was last year in his rookie year. But this time around, you didn't expect him to put up 50. I think that's just the difference in that game. Kevin Porter putting up that 50 points, and the Milwaukee losing Giannis early on, 46 seconds into the game, just kind of settled it all.
Yeah, I think that's what swayed the victory, you know, towards the Houston Rockets. And for Kevin Porter Jr., a lot of issues off the court this year, discipline issues. So it's good to see him overcoming all of that to focus on playing basketball. 32 of those points came in the second half, 17 in the fourth quarter. That's mighty impressive. And, of course, after the game, the coach, Steven Silas, of course, very, very happy with the performance against the Bucks. Let's listen to Steven Silas as well as the man of the moment, Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, so the most impressive part is the bounce back from the game that he had before. He had a off game. I mean, he was 0 for 9 or 0 for 10, and then made his last couple threes last game and was frustrated and all of those things. And the bounce back tonight, where he was of clear mind and just had it rolling and carried us, and all of those just great things that we saw tonight after a subpar game.
After I seen that third three went down, I knew it was going to be a special night. Came off a rough night against Timberwolves, I believe. And so it was in me to come out here and give it my all. No matter if I scored a point or not, just contribute in every way I can. And we just really wanted to win this. You know, DJ, that's his last team, Seawood, and we was all fired up today.
Kevin Porter Jr. right there after his historic performance against the Milwaukee Bucks last night in the NBA. Yeah, so think about wherever you are. Let's quickly move on to the Brooklyn Nets. They were in action as well. So it's all about Kevin Durant playing without Kyrie. And James Harden finished with 42 points on the night. And we were saying before we came on air, this guy, we said it yesterday as well, that was back-to-back 40-point games now for KD. Doesn't really matter whether he's been out of the game for too long.
For 2 years. He would just come and fit him.
He comes in and just carries on
as
like
if he's never left.
And that's why the Brooklyn Nets are one of the favorites to win the championship this year. So let's listen to him.
Just to having that support from our coaching staff allows a lot of guys to go out there and play free. You see guys developing throughout the season because they're being put in different situations. Landry, Joe, Tyler, Alizé came in, gave us great minutes. So I think guys who, younger guys in the league who still trying to find their footing, this year was good for them because, it allowed them to develop different parts of their game, play with different lineups, play more minutes. So I think that next man mentality has been preached to us from day one, and guys are taking advantage of it. I love the mental aspect of, just how I'm going to approach the game. Every night is different, I feel. Like they threw a little boxing one out there. They double-teamed me as soon as I touched it in the post. They played zone. So just coming into a game, not knowing what a coach is going to throw at me, and, and as the game starts to go on, me figuring it out, I think that's the funnest part for me.
One of the most talented and prolific scorers in NBA history, just doing what he knows how to do best.
I just want to be in the shoes of Steve Nash right now. You don't need to overthink things. You have great players. They just go there and do the job, and you relax.
Got to make them play defense.
Top performance.
Top performance. Before we leave basketball quickly, of course, Kevin Porter Jr., the star man, 55 and 11 on the night. Youngest in NBA history to score 50-plus points and 10-plus assists in a game. Next up is KD, 42, 3 and 10. Also making the short list is Karis Lever, former Nets player, did it against his former side, 36-4-5. Last but not the least is Steph Curry, 37-6-8.
Drop 50 and you can win.
Yeah.
In the next game, drop 50 and win.
That's it for
Tim
the NBA.
Hardaway, 42-1-3 is the last player for the Mavericks.
Yeah,
okay.
Have to step up big time.
He needed to, yeah.
In the absence of Luka Doncic.
He needed to do that. All right, Austin will be joining us right about now because we'll be talking athletics, track and field precisely, and also talking about Nigeria National League, the Women's League. There's so much more, and even Europa League is everywhere. So, Austin, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, Tayo. Good to be on the show this morning.
Great to have you on a day like this. We'll start off with the whole issue of, I didn't want to talk about this, but there's some things you just can't
Austin and drama.
And drama. I remember when you started the NFF drama series, it ended up in court, and then House of Assembly had to step in, and the whole issues were resolved. And since then, we have peace in Nigerian Football Federation. Now, Athletics Federation of Nigeria, it's been almost 2 years, right? 2019, 2020, and 2021. And the Olympics, they're around the corner. And because of some infighting of some individuals, Nigeria is missing out of world relays. And then the ministry is saying they want to organize a 5-nation tour in Nigeria. This is end of April. We have just May. And June, that's when the last qualifier is supposed to take place. So I don't know how they're going to do that. And also, maybe send some athletes to the US to participate in different meets across the globe. What do you make of this?
It's just total disappointment, Cecilia. So pissed, such a shame, so painful, because at the time this board was coming into office, we were super excited. We were optimistic that they have the quality to take athletics from one level to another in Nigeria. I covered the elections, and right after the elections, we were ready that things were going to change for athletics in the country. Such a disappointment. I'm so pissed. Why are people so selfish? Why is no one considering the athletes? Why are we not saying to ourselves that, how long do we go on with this? Why are we not letting reason prevail? Why do we think that things must go this particular way before it works? Now, we're talking about officials who are already established, who are sitting in their offices making money, tying down the hopes, dashing the hopes of young athletes who are willing to make an impact in their career. It's so painful. When I read the press release from one camp and that of the ministry, I shook my head. I'm like, where are we going with this? Where? Okay, what have you done right now? What has changed? So I can only chart the leadership, which is led by Mr. Sunday Dare. The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development must wake up. They must come up now and find ways to resolve this, because the way they've come up with their own press statement to say, oh, we knew that it was going to happen this way, so we have arranged this for them to come. Are you the athletes? Do you know their conditioning? Do you know their states of mind? Do you know with this they are not even inspired to compete for the country? I know athletes that call me here in London every day. Austin, why are these people doing this to us? Why does this happen every time? And yes, it's time. It has to stop. Because it's disappointing, it's so shameful that a country as Nigeria that is so blessed, at the time, most of our athletes are doing so well, and all they need is to sustain the momentum. Leadership and poor management is messing it up. It's so disappointing.
Thank you. I think we'll just leave it there, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll just leave it there. I mean, they know what to do. For now, they know what to do. Leadership know what to do. Do the right thing and let the athletes, those who are concerned, be the ones who actually reap the fruit, and not those who are sitting in their offices comfortably, trying to model up things for us.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. We'll just leave it there. Hopefully, they can organize the championship they're talking about. They can. And, of course, the African Championship is coming up, right, in June, and see if these athletes can actually qualify for the relays. Okay, let's talk about the real deal.
Cheering news now.
Cheering news, yes. Nigerian athletes, despite the whole issue.
To talk about,
most of them are doing individual, on their own side, they are having individual beats, individual performance, just ensuring that they are fit and ready for the Olympics. These two athletes we won't talk about are Blessing Okagbare and Diva Ndudu. They've already qualified for their various events. Now, they were at the A championship. We're talking
about
about
the UNFL
in Florida.
Last night, and it's a pleasure to let you know that they both won their races. Blessing was in spectacular form as well, clocking 22.03 seconds to take the women's title. That time, as a matter of fact, is faster than her African record, but because of illegal wind, it's not going to go into the record books. For Divine Oduduru as well, it clocked a blazing 19.88 seconds to win the men's 200 meters at the same championship. So these two guys are, you have to say, two of our major hopes going into the Olympics in terms of perhaps getting on the podium. Austin.
And for Divine happens to be the second fastest man in the world this season, which is really great. Austin is like, these athletes are not thinking of what's happening right now because they are far away from the whole scenario in the country, and they're trying to make themselves and the nation proud.
That's what it is, Cecilia Tayo. They are in a ground where there are no distractions. They are in an enabling environment. And you see, this is what we're talking about, that most times it's not until you get on the track or when you get on the field that your competition starts. It starts before you even get there. And little distractions can actually knock you off the track. So shout out to Blessing Okagbare and Divine Oduduru. Now, Tayo, Cecilia, from when Divine went to the US till date, tell me one bad story you read about him. It's been progress after progress after progress. And we keep preaching that it doesn't have to be white to be right. But what are we doing as a people to make it right? How will Divine mates that are back home feel? They'll believe that they need to get out of the country to make it. So they need to get out of the country for their career to shine, for their career to blossom. And back in the day, Chioma Ajonwa, Mary Oyali, Fanila Togunkoya, we can go on and on. Where did they go to have a good career? I'm sick and tired of speaking to athletes in Nigeria that will say, Austin, way back, we used to have it good. Where did we throw away reason? How come we have officials now who are so selfish, we're so greedy, self-centered, don't think about athletes, know nothing about development, and will put our sports into their hands? It's testament of why we are where we are.
It has to change.
It's painful.
Right? It has to change. I'll quickly touch down on Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership if you have time. Okay, I have just some few seconds to go on our first break, talking about the NWFL Premiership Playoff Tournament that will be taking place in Benin City from 7th to 11th of May. And the teams that will battle happens to be, we have Abia Angels, Ibom Angels also will be battling to stay off, relegation. You also have Pelican Stars, and of course, you have Dreamstar Ladies of Lagos. These are the teams that will be battling out in Benin from 7th to 11th of May to see how they can stay in the championship or go on relegation. Stay on Premiership or go to Championship, which is the second tier of the league. So we can't wait for it to start. I hope it's going to be another football fest because we saw in the Djibouti.
But I mean, the Djibouti was fantastic competition. It's all about survival. So I'm not too sure about the quality that we're going to see. But then a lot of those guys should be bringing their A game because they want to stay in the division and the Premiership for next year. So waiting. Can't wait for match day 1, Saturday, March 8th, for the kickoff.
We can't wait for it. Abia Angels, Ibom Angels also there. You have Pelican Stars and, of course, Dreamstar Ladies of Lagos. We need to go on a break. When we come back, Austin is still here. We'll talk about the National League and, of course, Europa League. Welcome back. Okay, time to talk to us on our Twitter handle. What do you think about Nigeria missing out on the World Relays that's supposed to be taking place in Poland? All the teams are there that are trying to qualify for the Olympics. No Team Nigeria. Also tell us about what you think about Europa League last night with United display. They are kind of favorites now to win the Europa League title. Remember, Ole has lost his last 2 semi-finals, but this time around he was able to get good ahead. Would Roma be able to score 4 against United? Okay. Well, I mean, next week is going to be it. And for Arsenal, they lost to Villarreal, the master of Europa League He's the coach of Villarreal, so expectedly, or rather, expectedly, we didn't expect the 2-1 win. But then, did he get his tactics right, or did he get it wrong? Because those were the questions he was being asked at the presser after the game, asking why would he want to play first night? He wants to be a Pep Guardiola. Well, they said it's baby Pep, but his result is not looking good. It's not looking his way.
Come on,
so tell us about that.
It's just 2-1. It's just 2-1. It could have been worse, considering that they played with a man down as well, considered
Bukayo
2 goals.
Saka could be out in the next one because he was stretched off.
I'm talking about the result itself. 2-1 away from home is not the worst result.
Okay, it's not.
In a two-legged affair. So Arsenal will still be pretty confident going into that second leg on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll leave it at that.
We'll come back to that shortly.
Right. Okay, let's talk about Nigeria National League. Austin, there is peace now in the Nigeria National League. I mean,
was there war before?
There is peace because Vandrezzer, NNL, NFF, a whole issue. But the good news is Vandrezzer, they returned. They want to continue with the league. At the time, they pulled out.
Great
so
news.
that's why I said there's peace now, because this is a big brand, a brand you want to identify with playing in the Nigeria National League. NNL is back. Austin, what do you think of this? Okay, we can't get through to Austin right now. So just talk about the good news is they're back, so they will be playing their games starting this weekend. And also, we know the league is resuming.
Austin is back with us. Austin, quickly, let's go your take. What are your thoughts on this makeup between Vandrezzer and the Nigerian National League going into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I was about saying that it's beautiful. This is the sort of reasoning that I've been talking about. This is what we want from administrators of sports in Nigeria. Sports is a business worldwide. We should start seeing it as that in the country. And so with Vandrezzer coming back, no one will argue that Vandrezzer didn't bring some positive vibes to the Nigerian National League. There are persons who even reach out to Steve Vandrezzer with the sort of branding that they do. They have what it takes to play in the Nigeria Professional Football League. It's a privately owned club. So there are no monies to push around. So whoever starts a club, paying players, doing a lot for live streaming, the person is thinking naira and kobo in his brain. The person wants to make money. The person does not have free government money to spend. So if you are part of those who were laughing at, oh, Vandrezzer pulled out, now they are coming back, you need to wake up. If you're a football follower in Nigeria and you're part of those who are saying that, oh, why did they come back? Then you don't love football in Nigeria. Because by the time clubs start seeing football in the country as business, a lot of things will change. Who is the winner in this? It's Vandrezzer. Because the NNL, they've now admitted that, look, teams can now do their live streaming. If you have a problem with Vandrezzer coming to live stream, you start your own too. You get what I'm saying? And then you're enabling the environment for business. Do your branding. Tayo, after today's show, Cecilia, let us charge clubs. How many of them have functional websites? Even in the MPFL. Come on, website. And most of them...
Let's start with the Twitter handle first. Let's start with Twitter handle. Website is bigger.
That has over 600 million naira as sports budget every year. What's the return on investment? You're just lavishing our money. I'm saying, because they are playing football. We need to wake up in Nigeria. It's time to know that we need to step up with international standards. So shout out to Vandrezzer. I agree, and I'm super happy that they are back to the league, because Cecilia and Tayo, if they had said they will continue, anywhere they want to go now, go around ask for 1 million naira before they will allow them to live stream on their home ground. So imagine Vandrezzer agreeing to that. The next time they go to Shooting Star says bring 5 million, bring 3 million. And there's a governing body. So the governing body has stepped up now to say, we are a progressive body and we welcome ideas that will market the league. This is how to market the league. So well done to the NNL. Shout out to Vandrezzer and every other club that wants to play football in Nigeria. Wake up. Do it as a business. It's time to grow.
And it's time to play football as well, too. We have the fixtures for match day 12 for you. We're going to run through before we move on to the Europa League and talk about United and Arsenal. Cecilia, A1, second round of the competition.
Yeah, you have EFCC and Mighty Jets, Rara FC and Aklosende also in action, Oya Sports and Gombe United, NAF Rockets and Green Beret, El Kanemi and FC Taraba, the other games to watch out for this weekend in Nigeria National League.
Right.
Then beat 1, match day 12 still. You have Osun United, FC Nilayo, Stationary Stores and Calabar Rovers. You have Go Round FC and Giant Brillers, 3SC and Ekiti United, Delta Force and Inewi FC, another other games. And you have Dynamite Force and Vandrezzer. They're back in match day 12, B1.
All right, in B2, you have Apex Crans taking on Godolski. There's also Remo Stars and FC1 Rockets. JRTT Bayelsa United, Crown FC will be taking on Abia Comet. Joy Comet will take on Holy Arrows. Bendel Insurance versus Gateway United.
All right. That's it for the Nigeria National League. Resumes today. Goes definitely will continue. And 3SC want to see how they can. They lost their unbeaten run already, but
they need to kickstart another
unbeaten run. See how far they will go. We'll leave that and touch down on Europa. Well, Ada Peters will be joining us on this segment. But before she joins us, we'll just refresh your memory of what happened last night in case you miss it. Because and if you're not watching Manchester United and AS Roma, you should be watching Arsenal and Villarreal. Of course, Villarreal, yes, that's the one we wanted to watch because of Chukwueze. And he had an assist there, so he wasn't really, he didn't score. But then he played a crucial role. He was decent in the game. 2-1 it ended. Confirmation of the result. Manchester United and AS Roma 6-2. So before Adapters joins us, we just ask Austin, we're starting with, of course, Villarreal and Arsenal. What do you make of the game? Arteta has been criticized for, not having a natural number 9 up front against a team that we know that they have the king of Europa as their manager.
I know, and I was hoping you'll get Ada talking first, since she loves Arsenal so much. but then, I think that was a decent result for Arsenal. But time and time again, they've shown us that if you put them under pressure, they will crack. If they had lost that, if that game last night was played at the Emirates first, then maybe we would have seen the sort of spark that they showed us when they went to Slavia Prague to, destroy the home team. But let's see, it's the semi-finals. That goal that they got was a huge consolation. They're going to bank on it a lot. But then again, as I said, they are not a team that time and time again, particularly at the Emirates, some level of complacency just steps in and then they just fumble it up. But it's a good result to me. Playing with 10 men and still managing to pick one to get one goal. They should hold on to it, get back home and consolidate on it. So Arsenal is still in the running for this one. But shout out to Samuel Chukwueze. As you said, he had an assist and he tested the goalkeeper at some point. Brilliant talent, beginning to show that, look, he's here to stay. Remember, Kanu took him and Wakali back in the day to Arsenal, and it was Wakali that was big. So he would have made a huge statement if he had scored against Arsenal last night. But overall, he had a different game. For me, it was 8/10 for him.
Okay, let's listen to Arteta, what he had to say after the game, and then we'll talk to Ada Peters.
Obviously, we are disappointed that we lost the game, obviously, because it's not the result that we wanted to take from the game. But after the story of the game, I think we have to take it because we are on the tie, we are alive, and with the circumstances that developed during the game, it put the game and the tie in real danger at some stage. I haven't seen the action again. Obviously, we talked at halftime that we have to be very careful. There was already a tackle very early, and I was going to take him off. And by the time that Gavi was ready to come on, it just that action happened, and he was out.
He was out. Now, let's talk to Ada Peters. Ada, Arsenal fan, you got a soft spot for this team. What do you make of their performance last night?
Good morning, Cecily. Yesterday it was kind of discouraging for most Arsenal fans to see how sort of lackluster we even set up. Obviously, we were sort of thinned out by injuries, but we were kind of surprised to see the false nine approach playing Odegaard in that position. It just seemed to be same same problems we find with Arteta. That is a lack of consistency in his own lineups, in team selections. And we saw the same old Arsenal we've been seeing this season, red cards again. The whole of the first half, there wasn't any shots on target. And, lack of creativity. The team didn't really know what to do. And questions have to be asked of sort of tactical evolution in the Arteta side as well, because we don't really see a pattern of play that he has sort of impressed on the team as yet. The players seem out of their depth, and you can only compare that to the other guys, Manchester United, who thrashed Roma with confidence.
Ada, I totally get what you're saying. Fair points you've made, but it's a process, and that's what the Arsenal hierarchy is saying. It's a process that you got to trust and going forward. First, Arsenal away defeat for the Gunners in 13 matches in Europe. It's an unbeaten. That streak is over now, so they need to start another one. Let's go to Manchester and talk about, that incredible game of football between United and Roma. 2-1 in the first half to AS Roma. You thought, okay, could we be in for a surprise result? But the second half was just incredible. What a turnaround by United. And I sympathize with the Roma coach. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a team lose 3 players to injury in the first half, including the goalkeeper. Well, is that enough reason for them to capitulate like that in the second half?
They really capitulated, but at the same time, you have to give it to United. It was a great show. Speaking of trust in the process, I think if you want to talk about processes, you have to give credit to Ole. What he's doing at United is what I would rightly call a process.
Okay.
I love Bruno Fernandes' caption on Instagram where he said, "I hope you didn't stop watching at halftime."
Yeah.
So it was a good second half. Pogba redeemed himself with a brilliant header, and you see a coach in Ole that can get into the minds of his players. That collective winning mentality. It's almost like history to see when United lost a game. In the Premier League, they have not lost away this season. And you see a manager that can get into his players' heads and make them feel 10 feet tall. They're oozing with confidence. They look like they're going to go just run away and win the whole thing.
That's what they're looking like. Of course, after the game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was pretty much very delighted, especially with that second half.
I'm happy with how we defended. That was the biggest thing, because football's 2 ways. I thought we played some great stuff attacking-wise. Maybe a couple of too many touches, but still we created chances. We looked at threat, but to concede 2 goals is in the manner we did wasn't good enough. But there was still 3 times 45 minutes left, so just keep on playing our quality, but run a bit quicker. Back and be a compact team, and the boys played some great stuff second half. All credit to them.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after United's very convincing 6-2 win over Roma in the UEFA Europa League first leg semi-final clash at Old Trafford. Of course, the match, Bruno Fernandes, Edison Cavani, those 2 guys were simply sensational. But let's focus on Cavani quickly before we go back to Austin. This guy, when was about to be signed, I know a lot of United fans that were pretty angry. They didn't understand why they were signing this guy who was not played for PSG for a while. He's getting old, doesn't have the DNA, and all of that talk. But since coming to Old Trafford, you have to say this guy's carried himself very, very well. Whenever he gets the opportunity to play, he scores, and has been a role model as well to, Old Trafford. And but the situation right now is that it's still not very, sure or certain that he will stay, at the club for next season. But quickly, Ada, Edison Cavani has come in and has totally outplayed even younger players like Anthony Martial, for example.
He's proved to be a great signing for United. When you need that player that makes no mistakes, is confident, is powerful, has that trickery, that attacking guile. You have to think of Edison Cavani. I remember in the World Cup where he knocked out Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal with one very trickish goal. Yep. He's always had the quality. And I love the impression of his manager saying that they want him to stay around at least for one more season, and hopefully he puts pen to paper. He showed one of his best games in a Manchester United shirt yesterday. He did very well scoring the brace, at the right time in terms of his positional awareness. He's a really good number 7, considering how the number 7 shirt has been sort of, not so prosperous with the ones after Cristiano Ronaldo. He's one that has really showed his quality.
All right, let's take a listen now to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking on the future of Edison Cavani.
He was out for 7 months, and he was without playing football for a long time before he came to us. He's had these couple of injuries, and he's worked really hard to get back fit, and he shows his quality. And he knows my feelings. He knows that I'd love to have him for another year. We have spoken about it. I understand his, this year has been very difficult, but I've promised him that Old Trafford and Manchester is a different place with our fans in the stadium. He must try to get that feeling, to be on our side. Manchester is a fantastic place to live, so I'm doing my best. So let's see.
Let's see. Indeed, Edison Cavani with 12 goals in total this season already for United.
Despite the fact that he's not getting all the minutes and also injury, he's having all that. So Martial.
So it's safe to say.
It's safe to say, and it's 34, still scoring.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Anthony Martial will have to step up big time, because he was supposed to be that guy, number 9.
No, he's not. Yeah. Okay, Austin, so they got that quickly, wrong, right? They got it so wrong. Austin, quickly, your thoughts on United and AS Roma game. In football, anything can happen. Roma could score 4. Who knows? Okay.
No. I went on Twitter and I said what I said, that United are already in the final. Yes, okay. I said what I said, and I'm saying it again.
Good.
So shout out to Manchester United. That response was brilliant, fantastic, and what a night it was for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I also tweeted that, let me see one person just tweet one bad thing about Ole, and I'll come at you, because he has actually shown. And as I said, he knows how to get into the mentality of his player. That's what it takes when you are a legend. You've been there, you've done that. So he knows what to say to these guys. Talk about the history of Manchester United. So big win for Manchester United. And let me be the first to tell them congratulations on reaching the final.
Reaching the final. Interesting.
Okay, Arteta was also a legend at Arsenal. We need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about racism in football and also the English Premier League games this weekend.
I think it's fair to recognise that social media companies have been putting in various products which they say tackles the problem. I think it's really clear to see that because of the volume of online abuse and the regularity of online abuse, the products that they're putting in place are not tackling the issue head on, and we believe they can tackle it head on. So whilst I do acknowledge some progress, it's not enough progress, and that's why we have to use our collective voice in the way in which we are over the course of this weekend, because social media companies have the resources, they have the tools, they have the technology, they're based on contextual analytics, and so they must be able to point the focus of that contextual analytics to addressing this issue. We see the boycott as doing that in 3 ways. One, being clear in terms of showing our support for all of the victims or individuals who have received abuse online. 2, making it clear to social media companies that we're not going to stop. We are going to keep talking about this issue, and we need them to take accountability for driving the change that needs to happen. And 3, to encourage government to expedite the online safety bill and to make it clear that we are keen to continue working with government and supporting them to bring that bill through and pass legislation as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Austin, you just listened to Eddie John talking about, racism in football and the fact that social media companies are not doing enough to ensure. And we know that most athletes, footballers, they want to boycott social media even
this weekend. Yeah, the boycott is spread now. Even UEFA have joined several players, started by Thierry Henry, as a matter of fact. And I'm not too sure what kind of impact this would have, but it's good to see all these very important figures in the game trying to do something. But the buck still stops at the table of the social media companies themselves. They need to do a lot more.
So, Austin, just your thoughts on this quickly. 30 seconds if you can.
I totally agree with Edlin John because there's no control on social media. It lacks the gatekeeping process, and so people just go there and just, throw things around. So, yes, it's up to the regulators to jump up, do their work, and make sure that they kind of filter some of those, annoying racist comments that we see on social media. That's a good place to start. And FIFA and UEFA, wag your tails back the way you did about the ESL. This is racism. Join in the fight and make it and kick it out. Yes, this time it's not about money. Let's see what they can do.
We want to see, Austin, I totally agree. We want to see the same energy that they brought out during the Europa Super League fiasco.
Yes. And that quickly, your thoughts. UEFA is joining this weekend, so we're waiting for FIFA to also join. And that quickly, your thoughts on racism in football.
Yeah, online abuse has become rife in football, and you see footballers describing it as brutal. And what their frustration is the procedure for getting redress. It seems like the social media companies make it very difficult for them, and they have to report it and go through a very lengthy process to get any form of justice. So this online abuse boycott is very important. We've seen a lot of players. You saw Aubameyang even deleting his Twitter account only to reactivate it when he had a bout of malaria. Reece James of Chelsea, Anthony Martial of Man U. It's everywhere, even the female players as well. And the CEO of Arsenal was very clear. If the social media companies can actually detect copyright infringement in a split second and block an account, they can do more for the online abuse and block such accounts immediately. So the stage is set, and we want to see UEFA make a very big statement on this as well.
Okay, we have the English Premier League this weekend, and one big game is United and Liverpool. United, they made a statement last night. Can they beat Liverpool this weekend?
United, if they stick to the same starting lineup they had yesterday, I feel that they will have victory at Old Trafford again with Mason Greenwood, all of them firing on all cylinders. I know Liverpool will bring the game to them. They are Merseyside rivals, Northwest rivals. It will be a cracking game, but I just feel that they probably will edge it.
Ada, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you. And Austin, quickly, 15 seconds, Liverpool United, before I let you go.
Okay, I think Liverpool need to prove a point. So you look at where they are on the table. Manchester United, they're on a good run. So yeah, when you talk about sustaining momentum, you want to give that day to Manchester United. How about that?
Okay. We'll wait to get the results on Monday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys. Always a delight to be on the show. Thank you.
Have a great day. Okay, before we look at the papers, Tayo, quickly we'll take a look at couple of tweets. I mean, the fans are really angry concerning the miss-outs of the World Championship in Poland. Okay, let me start with Oladipupo Ayodeji. Say, you guys are on point. Please help us hammer on Niger League of all categories in their means of information dissemination. It's very appalling. At least Twitter is cheap. Make them, they use them well.
Exactly.
It's also talking about website big. I mean, start with Twitter. How many of them have active Twitter handle? But from Aimba, Kano players can easily go and just pick up. You can count. Yeah. So the others should step up.
Not good enough. All right.
Noble Flyerman says, Cavani is a veteran that sniffs at chances in the box. I hope Martial is learning. Like I said before, the UEFA Champions League is coming to Theatre of Dreams. Semi-final jinx broken. Pogba, Fernandes are in another level. Want to see them against Liverpool this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. HK as well, Cecilia.
Okay, so let us name and shame those responsible for the absence of the Nigerian relay team at Poland, as Roman have.
Yes, Roman.
Okay, yes, Roman should have made a defensive change at halftime and lock up, but they underrated Man United and suffered humiliation.
Yes, a very humiliating loss indeed. Part as well is obviously a United fan, and you're saying, giving a lot of credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Good one from Ole and the boys, I think. This one is done and dusted. Football, anything can happen, boy. You have to say United are almost in the final. What a season it will be for Ole to win a European title and finished second in the league. You guys won this competition 2017, finished second the second year as well. So I'm not too sure if it's going to be much of a big deal. Lots of people wrote him off, but he has gone ahead to prove that United as a culture. Professor Enaina as well is in the house.
Oh, he says, we shall overcome the Romans in Rome. Man United must not compromise the advantage they do have. I like that.
It's almost impossible.
Okay, Richard Shogenwo, he says, any athlete doing well in Nigeria at the moment is doing the impossible. The present leadership isn't interested in their growth. Wow, okay.
John Doe, your Unai Emery got his tactics right, obviously. We all thought Arsenal were going to win. They still have a chance, a lot to play for, of course, in London next week, Thursday.
Okay, and Kingfisher says impunity is usually the cause of these sorts of rubbish we see in our sports sector in Nigeria. It shows those in authority don't do their jobs. And the word engineer, okay, said the difference between last year's semi-final loss against Sevilla and the game yesterday is Edison Cavani playing like a striker. Like a striker should.
As a shot at Anthony Martial, the golden boy.
Uneweko says, how can our athletes be denied visas for the relay championship and nobody's asking the minister questions? If they don't compete at the top, how do they measure up at the Olympics?
Joseph,
sports policies are so anti-athletes.
Yeah, Joseph, we got your message as well to Law Alpha, got your message as well. So thank you very much for sending them in on today's show. Let's take a look at the papers before we go, starting with Sporting Sun.
Messi finally commit future to Barcelona. Okay, that's what I'm reading from Sporting Sun, Tayo. Just as you're saying it, I'm seeing it also. Right, yeah, that's what they're saying. They lost last night to Granada.
Oh, terrible loss. He had the opportunity to go top of La Liga by beating Granada.
Game in hand.
And you're going to lose.
Lose 2-1. Granada.
Appalling stuff.
Appalling. That's why that coach. Okay, okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our Sporting Life. That's our next paper for review. Ralph Hasenhuttl is warning that Kelechi Iheanacho is a threat. Of course, when you've scored 14 goals in your last 14 Premier League games, you have to. All eyes would definitely be on you. Chelsea to resign.
And there's a picture of him training with the superhero kits. They're playing Southampton tonight, so I mean that's why the coach is really weird. He trained with superhero kits.
Senior man Kels is about to, go to work again. Barcelona missed chance to top La Liga. We talked about it already. Atletico set sights on Dybala swap deal. Everton target Juventus Demiral. Ramos willing to take a cut on £315,000 a week wage. Neymar desperate to play with Messi again. Perhaps Messi will be heading to Paris. Who knows?
Okay, and Complete Sport also confirmed this. The King stays on. Does Messi commit future to Barcelona? Have Osimhen making positive difference at Napoli? That's what Italian journalists are saying about him. We need to leave the studio right now. Tayo. Right, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.
I am Tayo Salam. Have a fantastic week.